Hello and welcome to We Poets. My name is Sally Baker and I'm the host of We Poets. If you would like to be on We Poets, please call me at the number which will appear on the screen later on. I'm always looking for new young children to come and read their poems or sing or dance and show artwork they've created. And so if you would like to be on, please have your parents or your school teacher call me. Also, I'm always looking for adult guests to come and tell the boys and girls something about their careers. After I interview our wonderful poet today, I'm going to be interviewing a wonderful guest, and he's going to come on and tell us about storytelling. My guest today her name is Makayla Rhine. And she's into theater, and she's going to tell us all about herself. So here's Makayla. Hi, Makayla.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm very good.
Good. Could you look there at camera 3 and tell us your name and how old you are and where you're going to go to school this fall?
Okay. Hi, my name is Makayla Rhine. I'm 11 years old, and this fall I'm going to be going to Contra Costa School of Performing Arts.
Great. And what's your favorite subject in school?
I would definitely like math.
And why is it important that boys and girls and adults too learn math?
Well, I mean, in my opinion, math applies to everything in life because
Right.
You have to measure stuff, you have to count a lot of things.
Yes, you do.
So, yes.
Yes, you do. Now tell me about your theater experience. When did you get interested in being on stage?
So last summer, a year ago, I signed up for a summer camp, Lion King Jr., and then I just fell in love with being on stage, and I just loved theater itself.
Good. So tell us about this first production.
So it's Lion King Jr., and I played young Simba, so pretty much a lead role, and I was so excited. And yes, it was in the summer.
In the summer? Did you have to wear a costume?
Yes, I did.
Tell me about that costume.
So the costume was an African cultured clothing, and it was very colorful, which I really liked, and yeah, it was great.
And what was the song you sang?
I sang Just Can't Wait to Be King, and I was actually kind of happy I didn't have to say Queen because that would have embarrassed me. I don't know why.
Oh, well, we all get embarrassed sometimes.
Yeah.
Yes. And tell me about some of the other performances you've been in.
Oh, so I've been in Fences as the youngest person in the cast, Raynell, and I was the daughter, and yeah.
And were there other young people in the cast too?
No, I was the only.
You were the only one among all those adults. Well, good for you. Good for you. Now, what is this little animal you're holding here in your lap?
This is my kangaroo. For my song that I'll be singing. It's a puppet, so if I put it on my hand, I can move it around.
Oh, cute. I've interviewed people who brought puppets, and that was a very nice show. And what did you name your kangaroo?
I named it Soybean.
Soybean.
And its nickname is Soy.
Oh, cute. Well, do you want to sing your song now?
Sure.
Okay, look right there at camera 3 and let's hear it, please.
Okay. Hump the voice. 'Twas a sour kangaroo, and the young kangaroo in her pouch said, "Hump! Why that speck is as small as the head of a pin? A person on that, why there never has been." You're the biggest playing fool in the jungle of Newell, and I don't care who I tell. The biggest playing fool in the jungle of Newell, and I think so as well. Maybe I'm nasty, maybe I'm cruel, but you're the biggest playing fool in the jungle of Newell. Fool!
Wow, what a wonderful voice.
Thank you.
Woo, great, great. How long did it take you to learn that song?
It didn't take me long.
Wow.
I just had to get the words right and then practice it with my vocal coach. And it was pretty easy. It took me some time to learn that riff at the end, but yeah, it didn't take as long as you would think.
Oh, so how many hours do you have to go with your vocal course to learn these different parts?
So since it was a summer camp,
Mm-hmm.
we had our own time. So that would only take one song. So I would just sing this whole entire song. And then I have personal lessons with my vocal coach, and that's only 45 minutes.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Now, during the school time, during classes, how often do you go for classes for singing?
So it was a summer camp. So it was only one song.
Oh.
So I only had to sing that song and just keep singing it till I got it.
Oh.
And then sometimes he would pull me aside to practice some parts that I didn't know.
I see. Oh. And do you have both male and female coaches?
So for right now, I have a male coach,
Mm-hmm.
but he did say that once my voice matures more, I would have to go to a female coach because my voice is definitely not male as deep, or not as deep, but like it's not. I would need a female coaching me.
Oh, yes.
So yes.
But you have such a strong voice for such a young person.
Thank
Wow.
you.
You're going to go far.
Thank you.
Now, what do you want to do in the future with your singing?
I do want to go maybe on Broadway.
Ooh.
But not quite sure what I want yet. But any chance that I have, I'll definitely take
Yes,
that.
you'd like to go out to New York, huh?
Maybe.
Maybe, or Hollywood?
Maybe.
Maybe. Well, tell me some more about yourself. Just what else you like? What else you like to do? And have you traveled anywhere?
Oh yes, I love traveling with my mom.
Good.
And we fly for free because my grandma, I call her Papa because that's in Chinese. It's grandma in Chinese. And so she worked for United Airlines for a long time, and so we have flight benefits.
Good.
Yeah.
So what countries have you flown to?
The only one that I have gone to that's very far is Japan.
Oh.
I love it there. It's so fun. And my uncle is in the Air Force, and so he's in the military, and so he got sent there to Japan. He got stationed there, and so we went to go visit him.
What did you like best about Japan?
That's going to be hard.
Oh.
Okay. I think my favorite thing was definitely we got to go to this safari thing.
Ooh.
And so we were basically in the cage and the animals were just roaming free. And it was so fun. We were just driving and then the animals were just roaming free. It was so fun.
Wow.
And we got to feed some.
Ooh, what were some of the animals?
There were kangaroos.
Yeah.
And there were lions, tigers, giraffes,
Oh.
rhinos. Yeah, it was so fun.
Wow. And what kind of food did you feed them? They had food there?
Yeah, they had food there, but I do remember there was a porcupine.
A porcupine?
And we fed them wood.
Wood?
It looked like wood chips. I don't know. Yeah, it was so fun.
Now, when you went out to restaurants there, what did you order? What kind of food?
I ate gyozas.
What?
Gyozas.
What's that?
So it's basically kind of like a pot sticker, but it's called gyozas. And then I ate a lot of noodles and a lot of meat. But now I'm a vegetarian, so I don't eat meat anymore.
You don't eat meat anymore. Okay. That's okay. You drink lots of water, of course.
Yes.
And fluids.
Yes.
Because a singer has to be in good shape.
Yes. I have a huge water bottle. It's like this. It's huge. And I have to drink one each every day.
That's good. That's good. Now, do you have any other puppets beside this one? Kangaroo?
No.
This is the only one?
Yes.
Where else have you gone to take your puppet to perform?
Not really anywhere except for on stage.
On stage, Well, tell me some more about yourself. Are you into sports?
I'm not super into sports. I definitely, when I play, I do play really well basketball, but I'm not as good as some people are. But I mean, I could definitely get it in the hoop. So
Well, sure. That's the important thing.
yeah, and I really like to run. I like
good.
running, definitely.
Where do you run?
I just at school I would run all the time, and I really enjoyed it. And so yes, I just ran, and actually I beat a race against this kid at my school, and then I was so proud of myself.
Well, yes. Was it a guy or a gal?
It was a guy.
And you beat him. Now, did you get a trophy or anything?
No, it was
just for fun.
Yeah, just for fun.
Oh, I like to race too. I used to run around the Berkeley High School track, and then they redid it, and so I stopped doing that. I used to have a bicycle, the old kind that you pump,
Oh yeah.
And I did that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I maybe in the future I would like to balance theater and singing and track, because I really want to try out track. For a while.
Well, that's good. Well, it sounds like you're a very interesting young lady and have so many things to do, and you're so young. You got the years ahead of you. Have you been to Iowa to visit?
No.
Never been to Iowa. Well, you must go to Iowa. Iowa's a nice state.
Oh, that's fun.
Yes. Any other states you'd like to go to?
I would definitely like to go to... Actually, I have no clue.
You have no clue.
But wherever it takes me,
you're going to go. And wherever there's a stage that you can perform, you're going to perform on it.
Yes.
Right. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming. You did an excellent job.
And
I'm going to be hearing wonderful things about you in the future. Because already with that voice of yours, it's great. And it's so nice and loud. They don't have to tell you to speak louder.
Nope.
So I want you to go back to school and tell all your friends about We Poets. And if they would like to come and be on, they can come and be on. And I'd like to have you come back again.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you so much. So let's wave goodbye to our watching audience.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody, and thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to We Poets. My name is Sally Baker, and I'm the host of We Poets. We Poets is a poetry show for boys and girls between the ages of 6 and 13. Also, I always interview an adult guest, and today my very special adult guest is Kirk Waller. He's a storyteller, and I interviewed Kirk many years ago, and he also plays a couple of musical instruments, so I know we're going to have an interesting interview. So here we go with Kirk. Hi, Kirk.
Hi, Sally.
How you doing today?
I'm good. So good to see you again. Doing
Yes,
great.
it's been years since I've had you on my program,
Right.
and I know it's going to be a wonderful program today, so let's jump right on in.
All right.
And my first question is, both adults and children love a good story. What is it about storytelling that is so universal and appealing?
Good question. So one of the things I really love about storytelling is that it has that universal appeal. I mean, it has the reason why stories have lasted so long and they're time tested is because they have these broad themes, that everyone can connect to, like love and war and death and peace and things like that. And they seem to create a shared experience when there's a good storyteller, that everyone is there at the same moment, at the same time, living these things emotionally, whether it's funny or sad or a combination. I think those are some of the things. This has a great universal appeal and connects to our heart and helps us connect to one to another.
Good. When did you start storytelling?
Oh my goodness. You could maybe give away my age here. It's been a long, I'd say over 20 years, between 20 and 25 years. Yeah, and if you really want to know the truth, I probably started when I was a little boy.
Oh, really?
Telling stories.
Oh.
I remember a fourth grade teacher asked me to do an assignment, and I didn't do the assignment.
Uh-oh.
And when it was time for the assignment to be presented, I stood up in front of the class and I made up what it was. Oh. And it was going to be, the big assignment was going to be a contest. And so I kind of made it up on the spot, and I won first place by my description.
Oh, good for you.
So I don't advise kids to do that.
No.
But that is how I got my start. And my teacher was smart enough to not let me get in too much trouble. I still had to do the assignment, but she saw the creativity in me. And she actually invited me to audition for a play a few months later. So she channeled that in a good way.
Oh, and what was the play?
I was a Munchkin in the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, did you have a lot of speaking roles? Or?
I had a few. If you press me, I might even remember my parts. But I had a few lines, and it was just a great experience. And that was how I got involved in performing and theater and storytelling.
Oh, now do you prefer to tell stories to children or adults?
Probably both, because I perform both at festivals to adults, colleges, high schools. I tend to do more with children only because that's where the programming is,
Yes.
schools and things in libraries. But I don't know if I have a preference because adults, it's a different audience. They catch the nuances more, whereas children, they're just a lot of fun, right? They go along with it, and just enjoy it, and it leaves those indelible impressions. So I think both. I don't know if I have a favorite.
When I first met you, we was at Stagebridge. And could you tell us a little bit about that, just briefly?
Yeah, actually, Stagebridge is a senior theater company in Oakland, and I was a storytelling director, and they teach not only storytelling, but musical theater and singing and drama classes. It's just a fantastic organization where seniors, anyone 50 years old and older, could come and explore these great expressive, creative parts of their life that they may have not touched or may have not touched in a long time.
Yes, well, you were great. That's how I met you.
Yeah,
now,
thank
my
you.
second question. With all of the technology and the fast pace of the world today, do you think storytelling is a list art?
So I think it hasn't gone away totally in the sense that it's because the technology has taken over, and we have to accept that to a degree. But I do believe, and I know teachers have told me specifically, don't stop doing what you're doing, because in the midst of all the technology, storytelling is still so personal. It's still so intimate. Whether you're talking to 3 or 4 people or a group of 500, it has a way of bringing the story close, because there's no fourth wall. There's not like a theater where there's, all these props and things that separate you from the audience. You're right there and you're connecting with them. So I think I don't think it's going away. I think it may just be a lost gem in a sense. It's a lost gem that we need to continue to cultivate. And it's also making a comeback with young adults. I don't know if you've heard of The Moth, but it's like they're true stories. It's performed all over. It's like sold out audiences.
Good.
There's one here in Berkeley that they do, and it's not going anywhere. But I think we just have to continue to cultivate it, or it may get lost.
Good, good. Now let's see. What makes storytelling different from other similar performing arts, such as acting?
So I think it's related, right, to drama. It is like sometimes people say you're acting out a story. So in a sense, it's related. But I think the biggest difference is theater. It's kind of like what they call the fourth wall, because like as you and I are up here acting out a scene, and we have the background, we have props, and it's as if the audience isn't there, right? They're looking on, kind of like we're watching TV.
Right.
But in storytelling, that fourth wall, that fourth invisible wall, is taken down. And you're talking to the audience, you're looking at them, they're smiling. It's kind of an interaction. Sometimes the stories change depending on the audience and their energy and their interaction, and you're pulling things from them. Sometimes it's some audience participation. So it takes down that fourth wall, and it's much more personal.
Good, good. Now let's see. What are some of your accomplishments in storytelling that you're proud of?
Let's see. I think the ones that come to mind, the first, 2 of them that come to mind. A couple of years ago, I did an album. It's called But Why? Children's Stories, Music, and Songs. And it won a national award from Parents' Choice Award, and it was a gold. So it was like won the highest honor. Very hard to get. I have not achieved it since, right? And have not achieved it before. But this one album was able to get that recognition, and I think I'm really proud of it. Got the plaque on my wall, and I've got to tell at the National Storytelling Festival, which is in Jonesboro. They're just kind of bringing it back, kind of post-COVID. And those are some of the bigger things that I think really like. And I think more than anything, too, one is kind of not so much the awards or accomplishments, but the fact that stories last in your heart. I was at a school, and I told this story that I created. I kind of redeveloped the story, made it up. And this is a class of 5th grade children, and this boy says, I heard that story before. And I'm thinking, how could you have heard? Because I'm the one to tell it. He said, I don't remember where he says. I was like, when I was in kindergarten.
In kindergarten?
I don't remember who told it, but I heard, and I remembered I went to that school years before.
ago.
So we're talking about 5, 6 years. He didn't remember me, which is not important, right?
But
he remembered the
story.
And that was just beautiful to me that this is, and that's why they go on, and we have to keep telling them.
Yes, yes, yes. Now tell me about your sons. Your sons are on We Poets.
Right, right.
What are they doing now?
Well, okay, they were probably like 8 and 10 then, so they're
Yes.
like 17 and 20.
You've got to be kidding.
My younger one is definitely in the performing arts. He has done plays. He's in one tonight. He's in Ragtime.
Oh,
Actually in Berkeley.
in Berkeley.
Yeah,
Where
we're
at?
El Cerrito. El
Oh,
Cerrito.
El
El Cerrito
Cerrito.
had the Center Performing
What theater?
Arts. It's called the El Cerrito Center of Performing Arts.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but it's at El Cerrito High School. And so that's what he wants to do. That's what he wants to study in college.
Oh.
He's been in like almost 40 plays.
You're kidding.
My older son is at Fresno State, and he is kind of focusing on, he's like a sports business administration. It's called kinesiology and all the kind of the behind the scenes aspect of sports. He's in his 3rd year.
Oh, you've done a wonderful job as a father.
Thank you.
Great job.
Really proud of
Great job. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Now, we're going to hear you play a couple of instruments, right?
Yep.
Tell us about these instruments first before we have you perform.
So the first one is called an ngoni. It's an African instrument. It's a West African instrument.
Oh.
The instrument of a griot, which is like an African storyteller. There's a little bit more to that, and I'll tell more about when I'm using it. But it's kind of like the instrument of a griot, who you use it to help tell the stories about the village and the community and their history and their religion and politics and everything. And then the other one is a banjo, which everyone knows is a kind of an old South instrument, but it's all actually an African American instrument that has roots in Africa, in the African instrumentation.
Okay, well, we're going to take a quick break while you get organized here, and then we're going to come back and hear you play.
All right,
So
thank
boys
you.
and girls and ladies and gentlemen, don't turn off those TVs. We'll be back in just a moment with a couple of songs. Hello, we're back. I'm Sally, and now we're going to hear from Kirk. All right, Kirk, do your thing.
Thank you, Sally. So this is the instrument I mentioned a few moments ago. It's called an ngoni, West African. Actually goes back to 13th century. It's a very giant gourd covered in goat skin with the handle and the strings. And it is the instrument of a griot, which is kind of a little bit more than a storyteller. It's like an ambassador. It's actually an office. Even in some West African cultures today, you will still find the griot. And they know the culture, the history, the religion, the politics. They know the stories of that particular culture. And it's all in their mind. It's all in oral tradition. So they pass that along. It's not books, not computers, not phones. And so they pass it on to every generation. And then those generations will grow up and pass it on to the next one. And so they may imagine them sitting around. An elder comes in and begins to tell them stories of long ago and far away. Not in my time and not in your time, but in the old time when the earth and sea were new. Once, many years ago, in an Ethiopian village, there was a father and his young son. The reason why it was just the two of them, because sadly the mother had died and left them alone. And the father would go day after day, village to village, buying and trading and selling goods to take care of he and his boy. And one day, he met a woman. That's a good place to pause. I just wanted to give you a sample of how the instrument might be used, and it's something that I use quite often, and it's an interesting piece of our culture and our history, and it's a beautiful way to help carry the stories along. So I'm going to say goodbye to the ngoni, and in a moment I'm going to bring back its cousin. So this banjo, as everyone knows about the banjo, usually think about Old South, kind of like music, right? Which I love country music, I love the banjo, but I did not understand until I got into playing the banjo and my African instruments that the two are actually related. That's how I actually started playing the ngoni. I played the banjo first, started learning about it, that it actually has roots in Africa. It's kind of like the great-great-great-great-great-grandson or great-great-great-great-granddaughter of the ngoni, or instruments very similar to that. And it was these slaves who kind of helped create the banjo that we know today. And so often I will, same kind of way as the ngoni, I'll use the banjo and talk and sing and play and pause and help it tell the story. Sometimes I'll do a story that's set to music. I'm just doing a clip of this one. It's like this. Well, there was no bear up on the hill. Was no bear up on the hill. Was no bear up on the hill with rough and tough like Buffalo Bill. Let me tell you what that bear did. Well, one day he said he's going for a ride. That's right. One day he said he's going for a ride. One day he said he's going for a ride. Had a pot of honey right by his side. Well, there was a lot that happened to that old bear. We're going to have to save that for next time. Join in the story. But for now, you have a good day. From the bear and me. Thanks.
Kirk, that was wonderful, wonderful. I'm going to applaud you. Wonderful.
Thank you, Sally.
You never lose that touch.
All right, thank you.
Now, before we end the program, would you like to tell people where they can contact you if they would like for you to come out and perform?
Sure, yeah, I definitely still do some shows, and if you want to either learn more about storytelling or say hello to me or ask a question, my website is kirkwallerstories.com. I think they're going to show it as well. Or you can email me, which everyone does. It's kirkwaller8, Kirkwaller the number 8 at yahoo.com. Would love to hear from you.
Great, great. Well, I know you're going to be getting lots of calls because you never fail to entertain us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being on We Poets. And your sons, I just can't believe that here they were just little boys when they were on it. Now they're all grown up. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
You've done a wonderful job.
Well, thank you,
Kurt. And if you would like to be on We Poets, if you're a child between the ages of 6 and 13, please have your teacher or school teacher or parent call me, Sally Baker, and the number is area code 510-848-6905. That's the office. Or if you're an adult like Kirk here, and you would like to come and tell the young people something about your career, please call me also. I'm always looking for new people to come. So without further ado, let's say goodbye to our watching audience. Goodbye, everybody, and thanks for watching.